Hello, Jaret Lansford here. We are doing a new thing. We're going to be talking about the commute as it goes here. So we'll be doing these daily streams as we get toward the peak of the commute, try to walk you through how things are happening in this kind of 7:30 to 7:50 time frame as a lot of our issues start to pop up. So this will be our first one, but certainly not the last one. Let's start to walk through some of the issues that we're seeing for our Thursday morning commute, and that includes what we've got going on here. This is I-80 westbound around I, where we've had a crash that has been in place. And let me pull up the DOT camera here. You'll be able to see what we are looking at with this crash. So there we go. We've had the left shoulder that has been blocked as a result of this. It's right here that you're seeing with that scene. A little further up the road, we've also on westbound I-80 had the right shoulder blocked. Traffic has improved greatly in this area as we've gotten those out of the lanes of traffic and onto the shoulders. So good news with that. But here's what we are looking at as far as the traffic flow is concerned, and you can see that it's moving along in pretty good shape despite having that there on the shoulder. So not a huge problem anymore, but it is something you want to watch for. There's going to be some delays that are in place. I've also been watching this area. This is I-80 off to the east of where we were just talking about. Eastbound travel as you're approaching 72nd is pretty slow, and again, I've got a DOT camera that will show you what we're talking about with this one. And this is an area where we have a vehicle that looks like it ended up on the shoulder. It's a little unclear if this was a stall vehicle or if there was a crash that was involved with this, but let me show you here on the DOT camera. I've got that loaded up now. And there is our situation with that one. The left shoulder being blocked. And I think as people are kind of seeing those flashing lights, they are checking up a little bit in the lead up to that as you head eastbound on I-80. That's right around 72nd. Again, your delays stretch back to about the 84th area. So another aspect that we'll have this as we do these, I'll be kind of looking for any new crashes or issues that pop in as we're live. So at times we'll just kind of let the video roll while I am looking for anything new that is a concern for you. So again, if you're just joining in, this is I-80 around 72nd eastbound. You have a vehicle there on the shoulder. Unclear if that's a stalled vehicle or if there was a crash, but the left shoulder is blocked and it is slow in the lead up to that. I want to now show you what we are seeing throughout the metro for our speeds, and you can see that we are starting to get a number of delays that are showing up. Some of these are pretty typical as you are making your way on I-80 right around 72nd. We were just looking at that one, but Dodge eastbound right around 168th typically slows down right around this point in the morning. You've also got a delay as you're approaching 90th heading eastbound between there and 680 with quite the delays. And then the JFK, pretty slow with a current wave of traffic that's pretty impressive there with the delays. So I'll get a DOT camera pulled up so you can see that one as well. And this is anywhere between about I-80 and back toward Chandler or so where you have your delays. Yeah, that's pretty slow. So let me show you what that looks like here. And the traffic coming towards you is northbound. And you can see how it's just kind of sluggish moving toward I-80 on the Gilmore Bridge. Again, if you're just joining us, what you're looking at right now, that is I-80, or excuse me, that's the JFK as you're approaching I-80, where you have northbound traffic pretty slow in the early going. A lot of people trying to make their way toward I-80, and that's resulting in some pretty sizable delays here in the early going. A couple of other things I've been watching here early for our Thursday. We had a crash I-80 westbound that had been impacting things pretty greatly right around that 680 interchange, but you can see now that's just about done. We aren't really looking at much in the way of delays there, so improvement. However, as you're approaching 72nd, we do have backups that now have reached the 680 interchange as you go eastbound, and I will pull up that camera so you have a better view of what is going on with that situation. So this is the view right around 84th on eastbound I-80 that I'm about to pull up for you. There it is. And so as you are looking at that left portion of the traffic, that is what is heading eastbound, and you can see it's pretty busy. The reason for this, there's a vehicle there on the left shoulder right around 72nd that has either stalled or maybe was involved in a crash, but you have some flashing lights that are in place there, people checking up in the approach to that situation. Getting a new crash coming in, so I'm going to work on building that graphic here. We're going to Papillion for this one, and it is at the intersection of 96th and Buckboard Boulevard. So we're a little bit north of Highway 370 with that one. So you can watch as I build that graphic. You can see some delays that are showing up there, westbound 370 right around 96th. This is just a little bit to the north of that intersection. It's like it's right there, that road right here, 96th and Buckboard is where we have that new crash. And that's in Papillion. So I'll continue to monitor that situation with that crash, 96th and Buckboard in Papillion. Let's go back to I-80 with the slow traffic that's been showing up as you make your way right around the 84th area, eastbound, where things have been pretty sluggish. And as we start to wrap up this stream, we'll give you one more view here of what it looks like throughout the metro with where we are seeing delays. And you can see I-80 really being impacted with that stall on the shoulder eastbound near 72nd, backups to 680. You are also looking at some delays now showing up westbound on I-80, roughly around the 60th area. Watch for that. The JFK continues to be slow from I-80 back to about the Childs area. And then you have a few spots that typically get some delays there on Dodge, eastbound from about 144th back to 180th, and then near 90th. So this is the sort of thing we're going to be doing each morning right around this time, about 7:30 to 7:50, and try to give you an idea of where things stand. And you can always keep tabs of things beyond this time frame. We'll be live on First Alert 6 here in just about 5 minutes with the latest on what's happening. And on our website, we have an ongoing traffic blog that we have all of these details always posted. So thank you for joining for this, and we'll be checking in once again here in just a little while here on your TV.